Imagine waking up tomorrow and hearing that scientists might have just found signs of life. Not in our oceans, not on Mars, not even in our solar system, but on a planet 120 light years away. Sounds crazy, right? Well, it just happened. A planet called K2-18b is making headlines because scientists detected something very strange in its atmosphere. Something that, on Earth, only living things produce. Are we seriously this close to discovering alien life? Or is it just a big misunderstanding? Let's dive deep into what exactly they found, what it really means, and why it's one of the most exciting discoveries in space science so far. First, let's talk about this mysterious planet. K2-18b is what scientists call an exoplanet, a planet that orbits a star outside our solar system. It's about 120 light years away from Earth, which means if you traveled at the speed of light, it would still take you 120 years to get there. K2-18b is much bigger than Earth, almost 8 times heavier. Scientists think it's what we call a mini Neptune, which means it probably has a thick atmosphere filled with gases and maybe a rocky or watery surface deep inside. Here's the important part. K2-18b orbits inside the habitable zone of its star. That's the zone where the temperature is just right, not too hot, not too cold, for liquid water to exist. And where there's water, there might be life. Now here's where things get really interesting. Scientists used the James Webb Space Telescope, our most powerful space telescope ever, to study the atmosphere of K2-18b. And guess what they found? They found a chemical called dimethyl sulfide, or DMS for short. On Earth, DMS is only made by living things, mostly tiny ocean creatures called plankton. There is no known non-living process on Earth that makes DMS in large amounts. They also detected methane and carbon dioxide, which are gases that can be linked to biological activity too. So when scientists see hints of DMS on a distant planet, it definitely raises eyebrows. Is something alive there too? Now, before we get too excited, scientists are being very careful. They are not saying we found aliens. They're saying they found a possible biosignature, a clue that might be caused by life, but it could also be something else. Maybe there's some unknown chemical reaction happening on K2-18b that makes DMS without life involved. Or maybe the signals they picked up were just noise or mistakes in the data. Space is a messy place, and picking up tiny signals from 120 light years away is extremely difficult. Even if it turns out that K2-18b doesn't have life, this discovery is still a huge step for science, because it shows that we now have the technology to detect chemical fingerprints of life on planets far, far away. 20 years ago, we could barely even spot exoplanets. Now we are sniffing the air of alien worlds and finding possible signs of biology. K2-18b might also teach us something totally new, like how planets with thick, water-rich atmospheres, what scientists call Hycean worlds, could be common places for life. Maybe life in the universe isn't super rare. Maybe we just haven't been looking in the right places. So, are we on the verge of discovering alien life? Maybe. But we have to be patient and careful. Science moves slowly because it has to be sure. Right now, K2-18b gives us a lot of hope and a lot of mystery. Future telescopes, like the Extremely Large Telescope and new missions, will take even closer looks. Maybe one day soon, we'll finally get that long-awaited confirmation that we are not alone.